Hi, class. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed the pause. I was just thinking it was a good little pause for all of us. I left the midterm portal open or the exam portal open, and some of you decided to check in with me via Zoom this week, which was great. But we're moving on now. And what we're moving into is stereotyping and prejudice. You did a bunch of stuff on privilege and inequality and microaggressions. And so this is kind of familiar territory, but you're going to think about some classic sociology. So Du Bois, W.E.B. Du Bois, wrote about double consciousness in the veil many years ago regarding his experience as a black sociologist in the United States during Jim Crow time, when he wasn't able to participate in kind of the regular scholarly life of his white colleagues, and this double consciousness that kind of came about as a result of his being highly reputable in his field, and yet still, because of the color of his skin, he couldn't have equal access to things that his white male colleagues did. And looking back on that now, we find that awful, and disgusting, but that was the law of the land back then. And so how he kind of processed it was he kind of created a lot of sociology around inequality. He started out as a sociologist sort of looking at things pretty objectively, and then he just had the lived experiences of being a black man in academia under segregated rules, and his writings just kind of reflected his lived experience, which makes perfect sense, right? Because we all live lives, and our lives are shaped by different things that we don't necessarily have control over. So that's the idea between privilege and disadvantage, and then we experience the world in a certain kind of way. So there's that article this week. You're going to watch a very classic film called A Class Divided, which is about Jane Elliott, who is a third grade teacher in Iowa around the time of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, and how she was going to teach her kids about race in an all-white school, which was really the students had very little exposure to anything but their white peers. And so how she taught them how to understand race and inequality and racism. And I just think it's a classic. And so hopefully you'll get something out of that. You may have already seen it. She's her deadpan, the way she does it, teaches it. It's really amazing. I don't think I could keep a straight face and teach the things she teaches, especially when she goes into the prisons and talks to adults. Just wait, you'll see. Okay, I won't spoil it. And then common knowledge and the law. That's kind of how we react to the law, and we might have different reactions to the law based on how the law has seemed either fair or not fair to us as humans making our way through the world. Does the legal system, advantage some and disadvantage others? And certainly our lived experiences help us make those kind of assessments. But I mean, we can probably step back at this point and look at the law. And as Karl Marx would say, if you're a sociologist, the law is an instrument of oppression, and it's used to benefit those in power and to hinder those not in power. And if we think about mass incarceration and who gets, from the time of stop to the time of, kind of going to be sentenced, we disproportionately incarcerate black and brown people at a much higher level than we do white people. And so what does that look like, and how does that shape kind of our system? So that's what you're going to be doing this week, and you're going to think about those things. So that's what's in store for the week. I hope this semester is going okay for y'all. It's been nice to hear from some of you. I'd love to hear from all of you, but again, whatever works for you. If you're happily making your way through this, then continue to do so. And I thank you all for the work that you're putting into this class. And Have a great day.